I want to take everyone back to a time when life was simple and there were no worries. I want to take you back to Y2K and the fear that happened. You remember everything would stop being compliant, the computers would stop working, ATMs would spit out money, everything was shut down, missile silos would stop functioning, and missiles will launch into the air, exploding in the atmosphere and around the world. Doom and gloom all around. Remember those fun times we had, worrying about that catastrophe that never happened? All I can say is that 23 years later, we're having Y2K moments every single day now, in terms of politics, in terms of sports, entertainment, you name it. We're just having those fun times where it's doom and gloom all around, and mostly led by conspiracy theories. Y2K in itself was a conspiracy theory. Actually, it was a wild imagination thought up by individuals and corporations that sought to make money. You know, about the specials they made about Y2K, about everything not being compliant, and all the things I mentioned in the opening. Well, that's what it is. And every time we have a conspiracy theory now, it's about some wild imagination that never happens. It could, but the thing is, it doesn't happen. And there are plenty of them to go around, especially in the world of politics, especially with those individuals who own corporations and media outlets and other individuals who like to sprout a few falsehoods here and there just to make us afraid of what's going on. You think about the last 30 years or so, right? This medium, what you are watching right now, that you use every single day at your job or at your home, this was meant to be a positive thing, right? The super information highway in which you have all the knowledge at your fingertips. But instead it's turned into the fear factory. Just the other day, or whenever you saw the last video, maybe 2 videos ago, I mentioned something about AI, artificial intelligence, the latest and greatest fear posted in front of all of us to see and be afraid of. And I mentioned how that technology can be used for good, right? Especially as far as authors go. I mentioned at least the 1 or 2 positive attributes of it. But if you happen to look around and you happen to see the world in front of us right now, you think that AI robots are coming to kill us all. Now, maybe one day that could happen, but again, that's just a wild imagination because as of this moment, 2023, it hasn't happened yet. Maybe in 2024, next year, our AI overlords will see and judge everything we do. But until that time, nothing to worry about, nothing to see here. It's all part of the Y2K, or the legacy of Y2K, that we have, in which we think of what could happen at the worst possible segments, or worst possible things that can happen, and they actually never do. I remember one of my cousins had a boyfriend, and I was talking with him one day, but we watched about some special about Y2K, or some news segment about Y2K, right? About the computers have to be compliant to Y2K standards. And for those of you who don't know, most of the modern computers at that time were set for 2 digits, which meant 00. And it was a big effort from, at least in the state of California, and I'm sure all around the country and around the world, to fix that 2-digit segment to a 4-digit segment, so that January 1st, 2000 rolled around, none of the aforementioned things that happened. It was all peace and quiet, and even I saw fireworks go off, the good kind, the positive kind, of different celebrations around the world, bringing in the new century. Of course, some people say it's 2001, but I digress, and that's for another discussion one day. All I can tell you is that the fear mongering has not stopped since that time. And I would say in the last 15 years, it has gone up a notch. Now, besides AI, I mean, you could talk about all the different subject matters and all the different fear mongering stories that are out there. Before then, it was terrorism, of a real event that actually happened on 9/11. And of course, the fear of terrorists going around and blowing up different places and different landmarks. Before that even took place, it was a threat of nuclear war between us and the Soviet Union. You remember all the fear related movies that were out there, including the one with the late great Harry Belafonte, 1959. I forget that. But if you, in the comment section, if you know the name of that movie, please type it in. I know it say The World, the Flesh, and the Devil. I beat you to it, but you can still type it if you want to. All I can just say is that we've had fear mongering for quite a long time. Really, since the end of World War II, I would say. In our media, in our discussions, you name it. And all I can just tell you is that fear is the one thing that drives an individual to either do better, or it can drive us to all go insane. And right now, I say the latter is definitely taking place in 2023. We're all going insane. Conspiracy theories are up there. I mean, they're just not up there, but they're being posted every single day on this medium for you to watch and be afraid of and be scared of. And all I can just say is that it never really happens. I mean, we can imagine a fear-based situation, but until it actually comes to light, until it actually happens, guess what? It doesn't happen. Most of you know I live in South Los Angeles, and before that was named, this property name South Los Angeles was known South Central. And there was always a fear of wearing the wrong color and going out to different places in the neighborhood, in the big community, and being shot or killed. I had people that I know who are no longer on this earth because their lives were taken by drive-by bullets and what have you. That was a fear that was constantly real and not a wild imagination. That was real. But when you go to today's fear-mongering society and fear-mongering media, you see that it's just full of the opposite, of situations and events that have not taken place, but we're afraid they may take place. You remember 1984, the New World Order, right? Of course, Captain America New World Order will be out this year pretty soon, so check out that movie we have too. But New World Order, and now we have the latest fear, the Great Reset, that's being a fear tossed about. I remember Agenda 21 was a thing, right? You remember that, don't you? Of course you did. So all I can just say is that fear will either motivate us to be mindful, to watch out, and really just ignore it. Just live your life, do the best you can in your life. Just ignore every single fear or every single post that is fear-based, and then move ahead and just continue to live your life. Do the best you can, because you only have one life, and you can't spend it by being afraid of every single thing that's posted on this medium. You can't. You can't allow yourself to be afraid like that way. You can't allow yourself to be scared of every single news story you hear that has a fear slant to it. It's not. Human beings, especially human beings like us, should not even let fear into our lives or intimidate us into being afraid. We should move forward. There is nothing to fear but fear itself. Franklin D. Roosevelt once said that, and that is very true. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. And the minute that we start believing every single story, that we start believing every single conspiracy theory that's out there, Y2K based, or the legacy of Y2K, guess what? We become a society that's afraid to be brave, to be bold, and to speak the truth. And that's all I want to say. And all I got to say is just, let's not be afraid anymore. Let's take life head on and continue to live this one that we have. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support of this channel. I appreciate the positive comments and the constructive criticism comments that have happened, email or on the comment section. I really appreciate your feedback. And if you haven't done so at this point, please subscribe. Please let me know what's going on with you, and I'll let you know about my future projects. I have a science fiction anthology coming up, so I'll give you more information about that as soon as it is available. And in the meantime, I want to wish all of you a good day, a good evening, a good week, and always, in closing, take care.